In a bold and historic move that has sent ripples through international politics, Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese has officially recognized the State of Palestine, joining the leaders of the United Kingdom and Canada in this significant diplomatic step. But here's where it gets controversial. This decision has sparked intense debate and criticism, raising questions about its impact on peace efforts in the Middle East. Albanese made this announcement on Monday morning AEST, shortly after arriving in the United States ahead of the United Nations General Assembly, a key global forum where world leaders discuss pressing international issues. Effective today, the Commonwealth of Australia recognizes the State of Palestine, Albanese declared, marking a clear shift in Australia's foreign policy stance. He emphasized that Australia has long supported a two-state solution, a position held across political parties for years. One of those states is Israel, and the other is Palestine, he explained, acknowledging the deep-rooted aspirations of the Palestinian people to have their own sovereign nation. This recognition is not just symbolic. It reflects a commitment to acknowledging Palestine's legitimate claims on the world stage. Albanese also highlighted the dire humanitarian situation unfolding in Gaza, describing it as a catastrophic humanitarian crisis. He criticized the Israeli government for continuing to back illegal settlements and expansion in the West Bank, challenging the narrative that Israel is patiently waiting to negotiate peace. The idea that Israel is just sitting back waiting to negotiate is not what is happening here, he said, pointing to ongoing tensions and actions that complicate peace efforts. This announcement was coordinated with UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer and Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney, who also formally recognized Palestine. The trio's united front at the UN General Assembly underscores a growing international push for a two-state solution, with France and Saudi Arabia expected to lead further initiatives during the Assembly. However, this move has not been welcomed by everyone. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and his government have strongly condemned the recognition. The Israeli Foreign Ministry described the declaration as one-sided and warned that it undermines the chances of achieving a peaceful solution in the future. They argue that such political gestures, especially when timed around domestic political considerations, do more harm than good in the complex Middle East peace process. The ministry's statement on X, formerly Twitter, urged the countries involved to focus instead on pressing Hamas to release hostages and disarm, suggesting that these steps are more critical to stabilizing the region than unilateral recognitions. When asked about Israel's reaction, Albanese stood firm, insisting that Israel needs to heed that call made by Australia, the UK, Canada, and others. He stressed the unacceptable loss of human life and the harsh conditions faced by people in Gaza, calling for the global community to act collectively. The world is saying that we need to act as a global community here, he told the program Sunrise. Interestingly, this stance places Australia at odds with former U.S. President Donald Trump, who has taken a different approach to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Albanese is expected to discuss these issues with the current U.S. administration soon, adding another layer of complexity to international diplomacy. Back in Australia, the decision has sparked mixed reactions. Daniel Aghian, president of the Executive Council of Australian Jewry, ECAJ, expressed deep disappointment, warning that recognizing Palestine under current circumstances is unlikely to achieve peace. He argued it abandons hostages and the people of Gaza to ongoing violence by Hamas and risks exacerbating the conflict. Opposition leader Susan Ley also criticized the move, calling it a hollow gesture of false hope to the Palestinian people. She added that for Israelis, it represents a chilling act of concession, suggesting it could undermine Israel's security and negotiating position. This development raises important questions. Does recognizing Palestine at this moment help or hinder the peace process? Could it pressure all parties toward meaningful negotiations, or does it risk deepening divisions? And what role should countries like Australia play in such a deeply complex and sensitive conflict? We invite you to share your thoughts. Do you agree with Albanese's decision, or do you believe it complicates an already fragile situation? Join the conversation and let us know your perspective.